So I recently restarted my Netflix subscription for the first time in, I don't know, a couple months. And I wouldn't say it was just because of this new Power Rangers movie, but that was a pretty big reason to check it out again. I grew up with Power Rangers. I've got a lot of the comics. Actually, I've got the, I don't know if you can see the little helmet there, and then also I got the little lightning bolt and some sweet guns there. Normally I charge people to see the gun show, but you guys got it for free. So you're welcome. So just right off the top, I give this one like a 3 out of 5. If you grew up watching the Power Rangers, you're gonna like it. If you didn't, you're probably not. It's super cheesy, like the original series was. But if you like the original and the cheesiness, you will like this one. So we start out with the 5 original Rangers. You got Jason, Kimberly, Trini, Billy, and Zach, and they're all in they're all morphs, so they look like with the helmets and everything. But that's who the characters are. So we start with them, and Rita is a robot. Rita Repulsa. She's like the main villain from the original. She's a robot, and she ends up killing Trini, which is the Yellow Ranger. And then we flash forward 1 year later, and at this point, Zach is raising Trini's teenage daughter. So if you know about Power Rangers, you know that I think her name was Thuy Trang. I don't know if I'm saying that right. She played the Yellow Ranger, and she died, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago. So this was the way of riding around the fact that the original actress for the Yellow Ranger has died. So we pick up a year after that character's death. She's being raised by Zach, and something comes about where these other Rangers get captured, and they're turned into like little miniatures. And that would be the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, and the Pink Ranger, which is Jason, Tommy, and Kimberly. So, and I think that was because for at least a couple of them was because of the contracts where they weren't getting enough money or something like that. So that instead of having the original Kimberly, you have, as you can see here, this is Kat. She was the second iteration of the Pink Ranger. And then instead of Jason, you have Rocky, which is the second iteration of the Red Ranger, originally Jason. So they show up and they mention Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy, but they don't show him because I think there was something with money where they couldn't come to terms with him. And it's kind of sad because Jason David Frank probably 6 months ago died. So this would have been a good time to see him again as the Green Ranger. So I think they handled the death of the Yellow Ranger pretty well. So you have what is that, the black, blue, pink, and red Rangers. No Yellow Ranger, but Trini's daughter kind of wants to take up the mantle of the Yellow Ranger. So the callbacks to the Yellow Ranger were good. There was really nothing about the Green Ranger. And I mean, he died probably like 6 months ago, and I think this had probably wrapped well before that. Not really much they could do. They did mention, in memory of Thuy Trang and Jason David Frank at the end of the movie, but that was about the only mention they had of the Green Ranger or Jason David Frank, except for when he got turned into like the little miniature guy. Speaking of those little miniatures, there were a bunch of those that were from different Morphin Ranger seasons. They just kind of appeared as just those little characters. That was the only real callbacks they had to any other series in the franchise. They did mention JJ, which, as far as I know, he was only in a couple of the comics, and JJ is the daughter of Kat and Tommy Oliver. So she mentions her son JJ a couple times. They also had new videos, like right here when they morph, they would cut to these videos and like they'd say Tyrannosaurus and Pterodactyl and all that stuff, and it was just them as kids doing that. And now they have them, as they are now, which is what it would look like when they did it. So that was kind of cool. And then they also shot the videos of the Zords coming out of like volcanoes and earthquakes and stuff. So again, if you grew up watching Power Rangers and you're okay with the cheesiness, it's definitely worth a watch. Again, it's a 3 out of 5. If you didn't grow up with it, it's going to be super cheesy and you're probably not going to like it. But again, if you did grow up with it, there's a lot of member berries. You have the callback to like a Volkswagen that Billy built, and then you have Ernie's Juice Bar and some shout outs to Bulk and Skull. There may be some other ones that I'm missing, but a lot of member berries. So that's my review of Power Rangers Once and Always. On the channel, we did a couple ranking shows where we ranked cartoons and anime shows, things like that. There's also other review videos if you want to go on there. You can like this one, subscribe to other stuff, and you know how YouTube works. Just do that kind of stuff. Okay, thanks. Bye.